So, आप सबको लग रहा होगा कि डिजिटल सेल्स और मार्केटिंग जैसे सीरियस डिस्कशन में एक पॉपुलर फिल्म का पोस्टर क्या कर रहा है। मैं इस फिल्म के बारे में क्यों बोल रहा हूँ? क्योंकि जब भी मैं इस मूवी के बारे में, इस पिक्चर के बारे में सोचता हूँ, तो मुझे हमेशा एक वही पॉपुलर डायलॉग याद आता है कि हजारों मुर्गी और लाखों अंडे वाला डायलॉग। और डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, और मेरा मानना है कि डिजिटल मार्केटिंग और हम एज रियल एस्टेट सेल्स प्रोफेशनल्स में वो एबिलिटी और वो काबिलियत है कि हम कई हजार लीड और कई हजार डील्स कर सकते हैं। तो यही है इस स्लाइड का रेलेवेंस, क्योंकि जब भी मैं पिक्चर देखता हूं तो हमेशा मुझे उसी डायलॉग की याद आती है। सो मूविंग ऑन, व्हाई आर वी हियर फॉर? सो वेलकम टू द सेशन ऑन वर्चुअल मार्केटिंग एंड सेल्स, the new reality in reality. So that is what we are going to talk about. Um, so just to tell you a little bit about the session, as far as this session is concerned, हमारा intention क्या है? We intend to open up the eyes for everybody, especially the channel fraternity, that what potential exists when we adopt digital and technology as a key source for our business. As a part of this session, while we talk about various things, let me also assure you that going forward, we'll be conducting multiple workshops with the channel partners, where we will tell you how to get better quality leads and customer engagement through digital, tools on how to make the sales team more productive, both on our side and on your side, and how to effectively build a journey of the customer booking, which is paperless and contactless. So what's interesting about this webinar? What's interesting about this world of digital? So as we are conducting this webinar, as we are talking about this webinar, it's important to talk about something that we are very close to, which is a part and parcel of our life, which is transactions. So as we are here at this webinar, at this point of time, by the time we are done with the webinar, almost 1 crore people will be watching or searching a product online. Almost 8 million people will be clicking on an Amazon ad. 7 million plus people will be viewing products online. 7 lakh people would have added an item to their cart and they would have decided on the purchase. And almost 1.4 lakh people would have transacted online. Just in a matter of an hour or so, this is the quantum of transactions that is possible when one is using the digital medium to transact. So it's very important at this point of time for us to see that there are some very successful businesses around the world which thrive purely on the digital medium. So here is a question for you, that can you guess the world's largest consumer mobility solutions? We usually think, whenever we think of consumer mobility, these are the kind of brand names that come up, like a BMW or a Toyota or a Mercedes-Benz or a Volkswagen and so on and so forth. But that's not the case. The largest provider of consumer mobility solutions is Uber. Similarly, when we talk about the hospitality sector, these are the kind of brand names that come to our mind, which we would have used. But the largest provider of hospitality in the world is Oyo, and so on and so forth. Similarly, with entertainment, where Netflix is much larger than any of the channels that we see on the other side, which is an OTT platform. And when it comes to consumer goods, it's not a Walmart or a D-Mart or a Big Bazaar or the brands that we are familiar with, but it's Amazon. So uh, that is what the potential is as far as businesses when it gets juxtaposed with the digital and technology medium. Till this point of time, as you see the presentations, we are the initial part, I would want you to remember of just two words. The first word that I would like you to remember is digital. And the second word that I would like you to remember is customer. These are the two words that will reverberate as we go through this presentation. These are two very important words that you should remember, because this is what that makes our lives. This is what is the crux of this presentation. So before we step into the, what I would say, the mystical world of digital sales and marketing, we need to understand that businesses thrive due to consumers, and hence understanding of consumers is a very, very critical part of doing business in today's times. It is the customers who are doing the business for us, who are driving the demand for us. So who really today is the digital customer? I often believe that the customers who are the hardest to target, if we are able to solve for them, then we have answered the bigger part of the problem. So when we are able to address the consumer who is the most difficult to target and own up, and if we find a solution for them, we have our answers, and we have our answers around our transactions. So who really is the digital consumer? The digital consumer today is really the millennials, people born in the 1980s and 90s. And I'm sure each one of us interact with this customer on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. These are people who are always connected, glued on to their phone screens, onto their iPad screens, are extremely digitally savvy, and does all their purchases online. In fact, if you really look at it, 70% of the transactions of categories of this nature, which are pretty high involvement in nature, are done online. Now, the part, so what are these consumers doing? What these consumers are doing are that they are searching, viewing, selecting, buying, and even recommending products on the digital medium, which essentially means that millennials are either buying or deeply influencing purchases in today's times. So this is a slide which will kind of try to encapsulate that what are the pillars which it has become the basis of business in the 21st century, as we are talking about. So hence, in conclusion to the section till I have done, the commonality that we see across all these businesses is that either in the country or worldwide is based on this triad that we see on the screen. Businesses which are successful are the ones which solve a core consumer need, and what better a category than real estate, which is as core as it gets. The businesses are successful are the ones which understands the consumers better, and use various channels to create that differentiation which is required to thrive in today's times. And they do all of this by digitally integrating their businesses. And honestly, who is driving the digital revolution now? We usually think that there is one person within an organization, especially what has been happening over the last 60 odd days, that who is driving the digital revolution. The digital revolution today is not getting driven by either the CEO or the CTO, or for that matter, the Chief Information Officer. Today, the digital revolution is getting driven by what is a common parlance in our conversations, which is COVID-19. COVID-19 has definitely necessitated that we adopt digital as a very key medium to engage with our consumers. And digital allows us, and is the medium that allows us to remotely conduct businesses, and becomes a very important component of how we conduct our business today. And already we are seeing businesses across categories that are adopting to this new normal, be it foods, be it fitness, be it automobile. You talk about categories, and we are seeing that there is an overt adoption of digital in conducting business. See, I mean, friends, the world of sales, which we are also close to, is characterized by constant change, uncontrollable variables, and to a great extent, intense competitor activity. But at the center of it, at the core of everything is our ability as a business to manage the customer management strategy. So I'd want you to remember this very important word. Earlier, I talked about digital and customer, which is something that you should retain as we go through the presentation. The second part, which I would want you to retain, is customer management strategy. The three aspects that I believe which is core to the customer management strategy is A, managing relationships, B, creating opportunities, and C, commercializing these opportunities. These are statements, these are words which are not new to any one of us. When we manage relationships as real estate, as a business, we create multiplicity of opportunities every day, and we always endeavor to commercialize these opportunities. And it is no difference, and it is no different for businesses which are going digital as well. So what I would do now at this point, that I will hand over the virtual podium to my colleague Jagjot Singh, who is an extremely digital savvy expert, who will establish the model of how to build remunerative customer relationships in the digital world. Over to you, Jagjot.
Hi, everyone. Ritesh, if you could just tell me if my audio and visual is okay.
Yeah, Jagjot, good to go.
Okay. So hi, good morning, everyone. So I think the context has been set in a very beautiful way by Sam, who obviously has years and decades of marketing experience and has seen the evolution of not just the customer, but the entire marketing scenario across industries, right? So what we'll do from here is, I understand that a lot of partners here must be doing or, have digital as their one of the key pillars when they decide their marketing mix. Sam, okay. So, but when we look at the other partners, some of those who've been a little cautious or, have actually been, on the, not on the front foot in terms of digital. So we will lay down the foundation of why you are supposed to do digital, the why part of it, the how part of it, which is extremely important because as a starting medium, you would not want to go into full rush, but you would actually want to, test the waters and then go slowly with a very, concise manner and way of effective nature as well, right? So what I'll do is, Sam, if you could go to the next slide, please.
There seems to be some connection issue. Just give me a moment, please.
Sure.
Sorry about that. Just some problem with my internet connection. Extremely sorry about that.
Let's go to the next slide, Sam, please. Okay, so just to connect the dots here. So as Sam mentioned, so there is a lot of, there probably many companies who've actually seen the digital revolution happening in various forms, in various, speeds of activations, etc. So you already have the innovators, you already have the early adopters, the late adopters, and the laggards, right? So globally and locally, there is a three-step adaptation that we've actually seen in terms of the digital processes being, which have actually led to differentiation and the difference between a winner and a loser. So there are three steps. First are the inherent digital players across industries, the model wherein they work only on the digital platform. Their entire business is curated like that. So you have all your Amazons and Uber, Snapchat, Facebook, Licious, Dine Out, and Paytm, etc. when you come to the Indian scenario. Then you have the traditional players who've actually seen that there is a lot of customer evolution that has happened, and a lot of people have actually shifted from coming to the stores to actually buying online. And with things like groceries coming in fresh, which was something that people couldn't even we couldn't imagine, say 10 years back. If that is happening, then the people are actually choosing a small delivery fee and the convenience of sitting at their home and doing this. So the second thing is wherein your Big Bazaar online, your Reliance Electronics, Tanishq, like gold jewelry can be bought online, gold can be bought online. BMW and Kia have introduced their contactless car deliveries. Yesterday there was an article wherein Harley Davidson is also coming with their digital only model. So this is the second phase wherein you have the traditional players actually moving into the digital models. Then the third is all players adapting to the new normal. Now, this is basically about people trying to manage, because the tools are available. So they are probably the late adopters or the laggards, but they have to evolve now because of the changing scenario, which is basically what Sam just mentioned, which is your COVID-19 situation. So all your offline retailers, grocery stores, your restaurants, because there is a lot of them changed with the payment aspect of it when it came to Paytm and Google Pay, because they realized that the customer wanted to pay digitally, right? But a lot of players are now adapting to the new normal of actually saying that, okay, we'll take orders on WhatsApp, we'll send you a digital menu, and you can choose your items and we'll get it delivered to your this thing without a contact, right? So these are the three-step adaptation process that we've seen globally and in India, I think within the last 5 years itself, right? So a lot has changed and a lot will change. Next slide, please. Yeah. So what has changed? Everything. I think it's a three-step process that we see. So the customer millennials, right? So as previously mentioned, so the customer has completely changed. If you look at the demographics, if you look at the age groups. If you look at the income that the customer of now is actually having, is starkly different from the Gen X. So this is the Gen Y that we talk about. The Gen X is basically the previous generation of our parents and our grandparents, the baby boomers basically. And a lot has changed in terms of their preferences, the convenience that they opt for, the adaptability to newer things, the curiosity for newer things, the idea, have that anything is possible attitude, right? So the customer has changed. They want to seek information. They have a large gamut of information available, right from recommendations to views to reviews, etc. Right? The mode of engagement has changed a lot. I think in the last, so I remember in 2007, 2008 is when the first iPhone came, right? And Steve Jobs on the stage, he announced this, and there was an uproar because that device made it possible to where we are right now. The smartness of that without the buttons and just a touch screen has helped evolve everything that we see today, right? The third thing is the mode of buying has to change. The customer has changed. The mode of engagement of the customer has changed. A lot of proofs in terms of industries, in terms of companies is available, but some industries and specifically I would say real estate industry has to change, right? And that is where, so you have the roti, which is the food delivery business, and your grocery business. You have the kapda, which is like your Myntra and Flipkart, who actually see 40 to 70% of GMV, gross merchandise value, increase year on year. And then you have the cars, the gadi, the transportation, etc. Right? In terms of how they are actually selling online, and you allow your customers. So companies like Tesla, for example, they allow full customization of your cars and before you actually pay for them online and get the delivery at your home, right? So a lot has actually changed. The last part is Makaan, right? Which is as core a need as anything possible, and is probably a lot of people spend a lot of time in terms of making their final decision, and hence the idea of explaining and the idea of setting the context for them to buy their first home or their second home or their third home is very, very important, right? So the mode of buying needs to change from just making payments online. So earlier there were NEFTs and RTGS and everything. Now you can do credit card payments and book online. You can do, you have payment gateways to settle that. But a lot has to change in terms of how we take the information of the location from to the product features to the customer, right? Next slide, please. So what I'll set here is, these are 10 compelling reasons. So for people who understand digital as just one medium and a certain portion of their leads coming in, etc. These are 10 compelling reasons that we've put together why digital should actually be used for real estate lead generation, brand building part, right? So we'll go to the first part. Next slide. Okay, so this is one framework that we've actually curated for you guys. So this is reason number one, wherein, so what we've done is we've mapped richness of content and reach of content, right? So if you actually look at the traditional media, on the left-hand side, it basically shows that if the richness of the content decreases with the specialists, etc., if you have, say, a wealth manager at your disposal, uska tarika to interact with you is very different, very personalized, etc. When you move on to a telephonic conversation, it is a less personalized way of interaction. You move to a webinar, it is one to many, and you have then emails and SMS and catalogs, etc., being sent out, in which the reach is maximum, but richness of interaction and content is very low. But if you look at the web, right, why all the Amazons, Ubers, all of them have been super successful is because they've been able to break that barrier of traditional media. They've been able to change, in a very flexible manner and very trackable manner, right? And this is on the right hand side, basically the black graph that you see basically shows where the web is in terms of richness and reach, and it can keep growing in terms of both of them. So hence digital is the only media wherein you can actually build your content, you can build up a company, a product you can sell, customer reviews can be done, payments can be done, and you can actually get reviews real time. You can actually solve customer problems real time. And that is where the beauty of the entire web thing lies, right? So we'll move on to the second reason. Digital is fast, flexible, and trackable. Now, all of us know this, right? But आप एक ऐसे सोचे, so for example, if you do an insert or a paper ad, right? I need to get involved with an agency. I need to get the creative done. I need to align my media strategy with the media house. I need to say, okay, on Saturday in so and so paper this will come. But in digital, if I realize I can actually plan and execute within the next 2 hours. I need to get a Facebook page done. I need to have some content done, and I need to boost it. And this is done within 2 hours. So the same people who actually would take, say, about 6 days or maybe a week to get your information out, actually now that can be done in less than maybe 2 hours, right? You can change course, or you can have a course correction within 30 minutes. So if you look at channels like Facebook and Google search and etc. So if a print ad goes, right, you understand that between 11 and 3, you are not getting responses. Can you ever change that print ad? Or if the radio jingle goes out and you say that you've paid for 7 days, can you actually stop it after 3 hours? Maybe you'll have to keep running it for another 3 days to see its effectiveness or efficiency, right? In here, if you realize that, okay, you've put in a lot of money, it's doing your, the round of impressions, but you're not getting the leads, you can actually course correct in 30 minutes. That is the power of digital. Engage with your customer real time. So if I give you the example of traditional media again, if an outdoor person, if a person sees an outdoor somewhere, at that very moment, is it possible to actually engage with them? I would say no, right? The lead would come to you, he would call, maybe not that very moment. He would call, he would then probably an SMS will shoot out, and probably you'll get back to them, etc. But what will happen is it will take some time. Here, if a lead comes in, it can be sorted and tracked and engaged with at that particular moment. So I'm not talking about just the physical, the human touch of it. I'm talking about the AI chatbots and everything that allow you to, so the business accounts for WhatsApps, etc., that allow you to engage with the customer real time with the kind of information which he requires at the first step of communication, right? And the fourth part is track minute by minute responses, right? So if you have actually gone ahead in terms of, putting up your post or your ad, etc., and there are feedbacks and engagements, etc., then how do you actually track them, reply to them real time and solve their queries and build your brand, right? So this is why digital is fast, flexible, trackable, helps you manage your spends, your target groups, everything, right? Next slide, please. Reason number 3, right? So you drive traffic to your selected mode of engagement and convert, right? So there are a lot of powerful tools which are available, which offer very different solutions for a customer's need. So if 3 of them are basically written here. So अगर मैं ये 3 solutions देखूं, so formats जो suited हैं for every type of communication. अगर आप YouTube देखेंगे, अगर आप YouTube देखेंगे तो बेसिकली वो एक वीडियो की तरीके से प्ले करता है, जो आपको हेल्प करता है दैट आप एक पूरा स्टोरी बता पाएं, रादर देन अ फेसबुक एड जो आपको बेसिकली हेल्प करता है इन जस्ट वन टीजर काइंड ऑफ एड व्हिच देन लीड्स यू टू द लीड फॉर्म. तो हर एक चैनल का एक डिफरेंट मोटिव है, एक डिफरेंट आइडिया है, एंगेजमेंट टूल डिफरेंट है, कस्टमर की लाइफ साइकिल में उसका स्टेजिंग डिफरेंट है. इन द सेम वे अगर इस तरफ से है, so then it is applicable from the other side also, which is your customer. So if you look at different कैसे use होते हैं tools, so Pinterest for example एक tool है जिसमें लोग एक बहुत particular चीज के लिए वहां जाते हैं, which is basically your architecture or your creative drawings, things like that. In the same way YouTube maybe आपकी socializing के लिए नहीं है, but it is about information. आप फ्रॉम रेसिपीज से लेके बॉडी बिल्डिंग से लेके आप अपना एक मूवी देख सकते हैं, आप अपना एडवर्टाइज कर सकते हैं, आपको हर चीज के बारे में नॉलेज मिलता है, राइट फ्रॉम कोई चीज साफ कैसे करनी है टू प्रिंटर कैसे ठीक करना है, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो हर एक चीज का मीडियम का एक लॉजिक अलग है, एंड कस्टमर जो वहां पे आता है उसका एक डिमांड एंड उसका एक क्यूरियोसिटी अलग रहता है. द थर्ड थिंग इज फ्रॉम मास मीडिया टू पर्सनलाइज्ड, राइट? अ लॉट ऑफ, सो अगर आप देखेंगे, सो if Facebook is say your mass media, WhatsApp becomes your personalized solution, right? आप Facebook में आप एक TG select करते हैं and then it goes to everyone and anyone. WhatsApp में आप basically एक personalized solution देते हैं. आप एक पूरी journey map कर सकते हैं from the first touch point to the end touch point in this thing. So hence you can select your mode of engagement. ये बहुत ही important है because हम लोग स्पेशली रियल एस्टेट में, आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज हैव एक्चुअली मूव फॉरवर्ड, बट हम लोग रियल एस्टेट में अभी भी वहीं पे हैं कि हमें प्रिंट एड चाहिए, हमें आउटडोर चाहिए, एंड वी स्पेंड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी ऑन दैट. बट नाउ मे बी द टाइम, स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग कोविड, कि हमें ये रियलाइज हो दैट हाउ डू वी एक्चुअली ट्विक दैट the percentages of allotment that we actually give to the particular medias. Okay, next slide please. I hope everybody is able to. I see no voice. Ritesh, can you confirm?
Yes, Jagjot, we can hear you, and there are a lot of questions for you also, and for Sam.
Sure, we'll take them once we do this, right? Okay, thank you. So reason number 4, I think this is very important. Increase brand awareness, credibility, and trust. So this is actually commendable and it is truly a digital magnificence in terms of how companies have actually been able to build their awareness, their credibility, and their trust. They have reduced their offline spends. They've started engagement. So from the efficiency of people to the effectiveness of companies and industries, etc., to the basically the experiences part, जो हम एक consumer experience करता है, एक value, वो बहुत change हो गया है in the last couple of years, right? So you increase the brand awareness. So मैंने एक छोटा सा case study इधर right पे रखा है, wherein you actually say, so Amazon has reduced offline spending while increasing trust. So 1999 से 2009 का एक स्टडी था जिसमें Amazon का ऑफलाइन स्पेंड्स बेसिकली हमने देखा था, राइट, इन द कंज्यूमर स्टडी. एंड what it did was, usne from $80 million it went down in terms of offline television ads, etc., from $80 million of spends to about $10 million, right, which is roughly 12.5% of spends jo wo pehle karta tha, and not taking into account the inflation that was there in 10 years, right? Still Amazon, because it was effective, it was giving an experience which the customer wanted, जो millennial है उसको वो चाहिए था, इसलिए Amazon was actually able to increase brand awareness above beating traditional brands like Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble, and Nike, which have been there for probably a century now, right? And this is the power of effectiveness, the power of digital. And the same, Sam, next slide. So this is also reason number 5, wherein we say how can we actually reduce our marketing costs. So if our objective was basically to build brand awareness, Sam, next slide, please. Yeah, so sorry, back. Okay, reason number 6. So promote to only specific catchments and TGs, right? This is very important. So अगर मैं if I have to give you an example, say आप newspaper insert करते हैं या आप newspaper add करते हैं, तो आपको media house basically बताएगा कि okay, थाने and कल्याण का आप एक मतलब Times of India का आप jacket ले लीजिए, या so reason number 5, somebody is asking me, was basically the same case study, but with saying that it manages the lower cost angle for your different verticals, right? So Amazon ne with say 1/8 the marketing spend, they basically increased their overall objective of increasing the engagement, trust, credibility, etc., right? Reason number 6. So next slide, please. Yeah, so we were here, right? If you look at it, तो basically अगर traditional media, अगर newspapers में आप देखेंगे, they will always give you, okay, from here to here is what your reach is, right? The beautiful part, the most amazing part about digital is basically that you can actually promote to only specific catchments or TGs, right? A lot of information gathering has been done, and people willingly put now, in terms of your social media, all your demographics, etc., because you want to be targeted only with the ads, etc., that you want to actually, see. So these are the different things. So if you look at primary catchment, secondary and tertiary, primary is target only where you want with minimal cost and almost zero wastage. अगर आपको पता है कि कांदीवली फॉर एग्जांपल मेरा प्राइमरी कैचमेंट है और मेरे को इतने ही यूनिट बेचने हैं, then Kandivali, East, West, etc. can also be mapped, right? Secondary catchment, so you build a larger pipeline. So you say, okay, I will include all your prime Mumbai West. I will say, I will talk about Malad. I will talk about Borivali. I'll meet customers there as well. So hence you have a secondary catchment target as well. Third is tertiary catchment, only spent when certain pockets. So for example, for certain of our projects in Kalyan, we actually saw that people from Baikala and Dadar were actually, investing there. And this was seen for 2, 3, 4, 5 number of deals. And what we did, rather than jumping like a pan India or a pan Mumbai kind of a advertisement, we targeted only those pockets. So we did not move from Kalyan to Dadar completely. We said, okay, from Kalyan, we move on to Thane, to Ghatkopar, etc., and come to Dadar, and we just go to Baikala and select that, right? So not only can you select the geography, you can select a particular type of customer like Gujarati, certain age group, etc. You can also map them with different ads. ये बहुत important है. जब हम actual में बोलते हैं that I'm going to a Dadar client versus a Kalyan client for a Kalyan property, then my effectiveness of information increases multifold अगर मैं उसको उसके हिसाब से information दिखा सकूं according to whatever he wanted to see, or the value that is created from that particular information from him, right? So this is why actually to reduce your spends and to increase your pinpointedness, or your creating a bullseye for your leads and catchments and things like that, you should actually use digital. Next slide, please. So we move on to reason number 7. Yeah. So as was mentioned earlier, so millennials, right? A lot has changed, and I think the real estate industry may be a laggard or a late adopter, but needs to quickly make sense, since the customer needs the convenience part of it. He needs proper information which should be available. He needs proper engagement. He needs a brand value associated with whatever he's buying. And real estate, on the other hand, being a core need, will always be alive, and will always be required by the end consumer. Also, if you look at it, the age group across India of buying your first home has drastically reduced, right? So earlier you used to have your joint families, etc. We are talking about 20-30 years maybe back, and one of the the younger couple or etc. used to buy it in their 40s, etc. Now it can the first home buy has actually been reduced to say a 35 or even a 30 now, right? So this is something drastically important. And when we look at distribution of internet users, this is basically, it shows that internet is being used by this group, which actually needs information and convenience and everything else, right? So we are talking about हमें 4 ये चीजें समझनी है. Extreme other end of the spectrum when compared to the Gen X in terms of उनकी needs क्या है, वो value किस चीज में देखते हैं, and कैसे वो separated हैं in terms of क्या channels and media वो use करते हैं versus our parents and our previous generation जो हमारी थी. उनको millennials को information on demand चाहिए, and it is not pre-programmed. So information इस टाइम का वो होना चाहिए जो उनका मन है, right? So अगर जैसे the best example is for agar main apna hi example lu, so I don't have a cable connection at home. I have a Netflix account, I have an Amazon Prime account, I have a Z5 account, I have a Hotstar account, and I don't have that because मेरे लिए जो मेरा मन करता है मुझे वो देखना है, and it should be on demand and spontaneous. ठीक है. Third thing जो चीज है, हमेशा से एक loyalty रहता था in terms of whatever was actually seen, in terms of our previous generations. So there's a loyalty associated to the location that you stay in, to the people that you meet and greet, to the friends that you have, to the loyalty, to the information that, so every Sunday probably ये वाले time पे हम ये चीज देखेंगे on the television on this particular channel was the kind of loyalty. Right now there is fickleness of choice, right? So whatever I want to do right now, so I want to explore the world, I want to meet new people, I want to make new friends, I want to have all the experiences जो मैं पूरे वर्ल्ड में है, तो मैं उसका बेस्ट चाहता हूँ अपने लिए. ठीक है. This is how the customer has actually changed, and constant engagement is a must. So पहले होता था कि ब्रांड्स जब लॉन्च होते थे या जब उनका कुछ और होता था, वो बेसिकली लेके आते थे in terms of print ads and outdoors and things like that, and then they used to miss out on a couple of months, come back again, etc. Right? Abhi kya ho raha hai? Constant engagement is a must. Why do we see celebrities are also your brands, right? Matlab Salman Khan is a brand and Shah Rukh Khan is a brand and everything, right? Constant engagement with your fans is of utmost importance. Agar aap wo kar sakte hain, if you can show them the glimpse of your life on an everyday, this is when people start connecting to you, and that is why the fan following has increased, and that is why people are glued to their mobile phones and everything. Constant engagement for brands is also a must, right? आपको उनको दिखाना पड़ेगा कि okay, we've been doing this is how we are evolving, this is the better processes that we've done, this is the achievements that we've got, this is the successes, this is the reviews that we have, customer testimonial se leke even solutionizing tak, you have to keep a constant engagement with them, right? Reason number 8, so next slide please. Slide number 28. Yeah. So re-engage previous leads with remarketing ads, right? Abhi ye bahut hi, I'm sure most of you would be knowing this, but जिनको ये नहीं पता है, the best part about digital, I would say, not just about the TG selection, etc. One of the other best things is that you can remarket and retarget your, remarket to your clients and retarget your clients, right? तो suppose आपने एक print ad दिया इस हफ्ते, आपको कुछ responses मिले, but there were some customers who saw the print ad but did not give you a lead, है ना? अब आपने अगले हफ्ते एक और प्रिंट ऐड किया सेम टीजी को, उसने फिर देखा, मगर आपको नहीं पता कि उसने पिछली बार देखा था, वो नहीं आया था या क्या हुआ था, राइट? हियर आप क्या कर सकते हैं? सो अगर आपने ऐड किया है, सो इफ द कस्टमर विजिट्स योर वेबसाइट, द कस्टमर चेक्स बट ही लीव्स विदाउट ट्रांजैक्टिंग, राइट? उसने देखा, उसको पसंद आया, बट बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजन ही वाज इन अ हरी और व्हाटएवर हैपेंड, उसका थोड़ा सा फिकल, he moved away from the entire scenario, right? But what we can do is, because we understand that the TG was right, जिसको हमने target किया, obviously he was interested in the product, इसीलिए उसने अपना time spend किया हमारे साथ, we can actually retarget him. So with our ads of the same thing, moving along with his customer journey across the internet, across the sites, etc., that he actually sees, and you can actually retarget and make sure that, so आपको कई बार ये लगा होगा कि मैंने Amazon पे कोई product देखा, and now on various websites that same product is being shown. This is being done for millions of people right now, right? That is the power of digital. आप actually pinpointedly ये बता सकते हैं कि Amazon के 10 करोड़ प्रोडक्ट्स में से ये 4 पे इन्होंने क्लिक किया था, and I want to retarget with only those ads. That is the beauty of digital, right? And then when you do this, the customer, so you can give in an offer, you can say that it is for 40% off today and do something like that, and then the customer comes back and buys and becomes a loyal customer in the entire journey, right? So this is reason number 8 why digital has to be done. Moving on to reason number 9. Yeah. So Sam, you'll have to click on yes. So what we see here is that meet your prospects where they are. Two more times, Sam. Yeah. So this why this has been shown. So suppose so if I just have to give you an understanding कि channel partner fraternity कैसे evolve हो रहा है, right? मैं अगर channel partner fraternity why customers believe in us is because we have a personalized collection. हम उनके साथ बात करते हैं, उनको मिलते हैं, they come to our shops, they come to our sales points, and वो हमारे साथ बैठ के अपना discussion करते हैं, and then we give them a personalized solution कि sir these are the 5 6 or 3 4 good options जिसमें से आपको choose करना चाहिए, and that is why the relationship is built actually, right? So if you look at it, if I'm a channel partner who's sitting in Kandivali, I can not only just target Kandivali or half of Bombay or full of Bombay, even Nasik, even Aurangabad, even Pune, or maybe even international. So go limitless and boundaryless sitting at home. Anyone and everyone can be your customer. So right now, an Aurangabad customer who's searching for a property in Kandivali can actually search for that. And agar aapka ad udhar hai, then the Aurangabad customer becomes your customer. Then ads, personalized communication through WhatsApp. We see through Google Meet, Zoom, etc. allow meaningful dialogue. जो आप personally करते हैं, with your जो आप personally basically on the table आप chat करते हैं, personalized एक solution देते हैं. In the same way, there are so many tools available with which you can actually do this. Okay, reason number 10, the last reason that we have for this. So this is basically something that we need to understand. So our competitors are doing it as we speak. So if I just look at digital ad spendings from 2013 to 19, it has risen by about 400%. Mobile has gained higher precedence in the last 4 years. So a lot of people, and let me give you a simple example here. In the last 2 or 3 launches that we've done in this calendar year, we've seen that the top 10 channel partners, all of them have a large allotment of their budgets and their focus on digital spending. All of them. There's not even one who's actually been able to, demand or get the demand from the customer without going digital, without actually advertising on digital, right? So this is where we are. So if you are somebody who's a late adopter, agar aap abhi shuru kar rahe hain, etc., then we should actually start and then take the journey together, right? So from here we move on to, so these are 10 compelling reasons why digital should be used. So we move on to something which we've framed as, so next slide please. So हमारा ये मानना है, जब when we talked about roti, kapda, we talked about everything else. So why not offer a ghar with the same convenience, right? So, but at the core of managing anything, it's the customer journey. And today the customer journey cannot just be just does not need to be foolproof, but it also needs to be hyper efficient, because customers can jump from one form to the other without actually tracking and going the same way that you've actually planned for them. So we need to be ready for that also. So with this, we come to the end of the why part. Now coming to the how part, right? So what we've done is we've simplified the entire model for you. We've given certain examples in the following slides, how we as Xanadu have actually been able to do considerable business in the last 2 years from digital itself, right? So this is the EIT model. It is an internal framework that we've created in terms of the 3 steps that you actually see. So next slide, please. So you have engagement, interaction, and transaction. These are the 3 stages. What you see in the above boxes is basically how the customer journey is, and the below golden boxes are basically the tools or the solutions that you need to provide them for each peg of the model, right? So for engagement, so a customer will always start with मेरी ये problem है या मैं ये खरीदना चाहता हूँ. This is my need. Okay, he will go on to and find the information. He will search for the information. Sorry, the slides have. So he will search for the information that he wants. This can be across tools. This can be across media, etc. So if he wants to search for, say, a particular brand, he'll go to a Facebook page. He'll see what they've actually done in terms of the overall how the company is functioning, what all products they've launched, what are the customer reviews being handled, etc. He will go and search for the particular product, maybe on Google search, and he'll see what is the actual the reviews and information that is available. He will see the entire product through videos. He'll see the entire product through tutorials, from unboxing of a particular this thing on YouTube, etc. And he will gather all the information that he actually has. Sam, I think the slides are missing.
Yeah, Jagju, give us like 30 seconds. The slides will be up. There was some technical error.
Okay.
That's
So,
what I'm explain.
Which is okay. I can continue, right? So basically, if you look at it, so I'll just okay. So in terms of the interaction part of it, it is evaluation. So आपने एक need gap देखा, आपने उसके बारे में information search किया. Now you know the alternatives that you have for that particular problem or need gap. You make this thing that, okay, the final, so there is a alternative that is available. I can buy it, or I want to buy it. So you've made a purchase decision. You make the purchase, and then you have a post-purchase evaluation. So the purchase and the post-purchase is basically the transaction that you've done. In terms of the different relevant digital touch points, so for engagement, wherein a person identifies the need or has the information search, usme digital touch points will be your CP webinars, your search, your videos, your display ads, your social media, things like that. In your interaction, he will basically go to your website. That is the first thing that actually a person who's looking for a branded product, etc., does. And your landing pages, your virtual tours, your location videos, your social media push messages, your promotional mailers. So this is where the interaction happens and the purchase decision is finally made. And last thing is the transaction. So you look at payment and booking gateways, you look at social media testimonials and after sales support. So across the value chain of the customer, you actually have different digital touch points which are available, which can be used for the same, right? Okay. So what I'll do is till the time, so engage is basically your akarshit karna kisi ko, right? So you reach out to your customers to generate your leads. So this is the first phase. Usually kya hota tha, so when we do a traditional media, so what has happened is we've realized that you can actually prepone the customer purchase timelines and cycle now, right? Maybe usko aaj is ghar ki zarurat nahi hai, but the value that we create for that particular location, the value that you create for a particular product, and the need gap that you fulfill may allow him to actually prepone his decision from maybe a year from now, when he would have thought of buying that product or a home or a vacuum cleaner or whatever. But now you've preponed that decision and you've brought in. So this is the engagement part. So it is very different from advertising, right? ये हमें समझने की जरूरत है. So हम usually सोचते हैं as channel partners that when everything is available to us, तब हम शुरू करेंगे advertise करना, because there is a certain money which is involved. But till the time you don't convince and engage the customer to a certain point of time, usually they will not even consider looking at the ad or buying the entire thing, right? So next slide, please. Yeah, so this is where we actually explained. So you reach out to your customer to generate leads. So this is the first part. Next slide. So yeah, so the core objective and how to reach back, please. Yes, one more. Yeah. So the core objective and how to reach. So the core objective is basically brand building and lead generation. How to reach is develop your communication and select the media. So we have an example which is on the next slide, wherein what we've done is, so one of the most, and I'm sure most of you would have been a part of this mega launch that we did in Jan and Feb of this year. Next slide. So this is Maximum Mumbai. wherein we decided that a lot of engagement, trust, credibility, brand presence has to be actually done before you can move on to selling the idea of what Maximum Mumbai is, right? So what I've done is, so I've listed down the left hand side ad, which is more about brand building, etc., and the right hand side ad, which is more about getting the information, right? Brand building, if you look at it, it was about that, you know, super opportunity coming soon. The golden highlights in terms of the tools that are used, so you can see the differences. So there's a YouTube which is basically seen on the left hand side, which is more about discussing what the overall plan and the vision is, and how we are actually looking at fulfilling a need gap for the customer, creating a new customer target group, etc., right? You have roadblock ads, you have digital PR and blogs, right? On the right hand side, it is more about, so the communication from the ad, it's more about the last chance to apply with the price points and the dates, etc., and it is more of an action oriented kind of an ad, right? And you have display ads, you have in-app advertising, you have email and WhatsApp marketing, which is usually not present in the first this thing. So this is how you can actually use your tools effectively over the entire customer journey, over the entire brand life cycle, and you can actually you know, gather more and more demand and can actually consume that demand, right? Next slide. So this is interact, baatcheet, right? So convince your customer about the right choice. So when the customer is actually searching, जब वो search करता है, say उसको एक one bed चाहिए थाने में, he searches for 1 BHK new launch थाने, for example, right? A lot of ads come in for different brands, from different this thing. उसमें आप सबसे ऊपर कैसे हो सकते हैं? So this is wherein your interaction part comes in. The evaluation of alternatives is actually happening in the customer's mind, but to convince him is our choice, right? So the next slide. So here we have 4 steps. So basically, website is the new sales gallery. This is something that we as Xanadu have also planned for, and we are launching a complete virtual sales gallery, which will give you a complete information the way sales galleries and site processes used to do. You have to keep the customer interested, right? So there is a journey for the customer from seeing the first touch point. So maybe that customer is not inclined too much, then he at least comes to the site because of certain partners, you know, consoling the customer that, okay, now we should look at it. It is one of the best opportunities, but still might not buy. In terms of the success messaging that comes out from the brand side, in terms of mop-up messaging, in terms of how many people have actually bought it and seen value in it. So you have to keep the customer interested. So it is not about losing that customer at any point of time. You rebucket and retarget. So you say that, okay, I've in this launch, for example, if there are 2 weekends, I've started from the joint business plan discussion with the group, but मेरे को नहीं दिख रहा है कि you know, so I've targeted 3-4 people, 3-4 locations, but उसमें से सिर्फ 2 ही आ रहा है. Then I can actually change that strategy and I can actually just put in my monies there and then set up a virtual meeting. So this is from physical to virtual, how we are actually moving on from our sales process to our virtual meetings, right? So next, please. This is transact. So this is the very important, this is the final thing that we actually work for, right? So you want the deals to come in, you want everything to be, you know, to be said that, okay, this transaction has been closed. So you complete the sale and to bring, and you bring customer delight, right? So next slide. So transact is mostly about the 4 things that you see here. Sam, can you put the, yeah. So you have online tools to help booking. So you have EMI and loan eligibility calculators. You have the explanation of offers and plans. You have easy payment options like payment gateway, net banking, card, Paytm, Google Pays, etc. Sam, the last one, please. And you have immediate gratification. So you have booking receipt vouchers. So this is a complete journey in terms of the transaction that you can actually help close the customer, right? So with this, I think what we've laid out is the foundation of how your interaction from the first touch point to the final receipt voucher being sent to the customer has to be planned. In our thought process, we are very clear with the model, and I think everybody who's looking for a greater reach, a greater business in the coming times, especially in these COVID-19 times, should actually look at using all these options and tools that are available to us to generate more and more business, right? So moving on. So now what we've done is, so we've said that we've done the why part of it. So we started with that a lot of industries globally, locally are actually doing it. A lot of them are adapting to it. A lot of them have actually adapted to the COVID-19 situation. We moved on to why it should be done in terms of real estate. We talked about the customer, jiska age group kam ho raha hai in terms of buying their first home. We came on to the why part of it, the 10 compelling reasons, and the how part of it, right? The EIT model. Now, as somebody who's starting afresh, right? As somebody who's looking at this, ki, theek hai, mere ko ye samajh mein aa gaya hai, but how do I actually start? So what we've done is we've laid out 7 must-have online tools for real estate agents and partners. So these we are calling the Invincible 7. So these will map your journey from automating your first response to a lead to the final video conferencing and personalized face-to-face interaction, right? So let's go to the first part, please. So we first thing is creating mobile friendly solutions. So a lot of our partners, what they do is, so when we obviously, because they want to be the first there and they want to be, etc. So quickly and hurriedly we create desktop versions of our websites, and we forget the mobile effectiveness of communication and the entire value that it brings to the table. So just some pointers on the right hand side which talk about currently 79% of the internet traffic in India is contributed by mobile, right? More than 80-85% people inquire about real estate opportunity on mobile phones. So from your ads that you create to your mobile friendly websites, everything, the entire experience has to be beautiful and aesthetic, and needs to create value for the entire customer journey. A responsive website enhances the customer experience and makes him actually spend more time. If he finds value in what he's scrolling and what he's seeing, he will actually spend more and more time, and it helps improve your search ranking. So mobile friendly solution is something that is very much required in today's time, right? Moving on to the second, please. Property search listing. So I think this is the quickest, easiest, most relevant in terms of targeting the customers with highest intent to buy. Apart from Google search and everything, because people are actually going to these property portals to actually search for property, to look at property, to look at locations and things like that. It helps in establishing a credible brand and provides a direct access to sellers and buyers. Both the parties are actually available there, so you can actually contact your sellers, your developers from across cities, and you can actually help customers from across cities actually buy into these products, right? Next slide, please. This is very important, the basic idea of using digital media for lead generation. So push versus a pull lead. So a pull lead is wherein the customer has seen your ad in some or the other form. He knows about you. He searches for you in particular, writing your brand name and everything. That is the highest or the most potent, the most potential and powerful kind of lead that you can actually get. The push leads are wherein you, with minimal or lesser costs, you actually go and showcase your brand, right? So a lot of channels, a Google search will be mostly your pull lead, wherein people are typing and searching for you. A Facebook or an Instagram or a Google display network, etc., will be more of a push lead that you showcase your brand to somebody else. So we need to understand at what point of time. So maybe when I'm brand building, I might not want to use Google search. I might want to use Facebook more and more, or a Google display network, or a Times display network, etc. And maybe when the brand is built and we have actually launched it, and there's a lot of talking in terms of different media across, and you've actually people know about you, that is maybe you would want to introduce a Google search. So our idea is to basically make you understand how different tools are available and how do you actually use them, right? So moving on to the next. So this is something that is very important. Okay, so when we are saying that the customer is fickle, the customer is everywhere, when we are saying that now you can reach everywhere, rather than just being available for your customer in your primary catchment only, now you can sit and source for a customer who's in Dubai, maybe in Singapore or wherever. Then lead management system has to be there, and it needs to be evolved. Why? Because it offers three. So it offers a tracking mechanism, it helps distribution and effective use of the leads, and it helps in response time being lowered, right? So lead tracking, so it helps you analyze the effectiveness of different media, helps scale your efforts. So अगर मैं lead management system use करता हूँ, then all the data can be accumulated in one place. They can be, it can not only be used for, dividing the, the distribution part of it, but it can be used to analyze. Okay, so Google Analytics, for example, helps you do that. In terms of Facebook, they have a Facebook dashboard for all the people who are actually advertising, right? So a lot of lead tracking and what video worked well until what time, you can go on to the minutest of details, that till what limit has actually the video been seen by majority of people. You can actually analyze, okay, this is where people lost their attention and they probably missed off. Then the third one is response time. Today's customer demands rapid response, and hence automated responses can be built into your lead management system, because there is so much information available, so many options, not only in terms of the products, the options of the product being available, a similar product, but so many people as well sourcing, right? So hence automated responses can help you get the first trigger to that customer. Next slide, please. Sorry, previous. Yeah. So engage on tools allowing personalization. This is very important. With what started as just a chatting mechanism, or something. So earlier you used to have BB pins, and BlackBerry used to allow the group formations and everything. But I think with WhatsApp, a lot of things have actually changed. And with Facebook buying it, it is become one of the very, very powerful tools, not in just terms of personalized engagement, but in terms of whatever content can be shared. And now it's even moving on to WhatsApp Pay and things like that, right? So what it allows it is, apart from any other mechanism or media that was used, so you share customized information with the customers in a very personalized way. It acts as a medium of interaction engagement without intrusion. So it's not like you are bombarding them with ads, and hence it is not something like that. It helps nurture leads. So a lot of convincing is being done from the brand side and from the advisor or the partner side these days, to make believe that